Hi, I'm Joe Agliato from Electro Tri-State, and I'm proud to be here today to take you through what everybody seems to have some trouble with and some frustrating things, and that's cleaning the machine. Okay, cleaning the machine, taking it apart, putting it back together, lubricating the parts, making sure that we're putting the pump back together correctly. So we're going to break this up into a couple steps, make it easy for you guys in case you have any questions. So rule number one, we want to try to clean the machine in the morning if we can, because when it's in night mode, when we go home, the product is under refrigeration, but it's not fully frozen. It'll start to thaw down overnight. It'll make it easier to get it out in the morning. So we want to try to clean in the morning. Another thing to think about if we're saving the mix. Now, if we know we're cleaning Wednesday morning, on Tuesday, we had the mix in the machine for a week, it's time to pitch it. We're going to run the machine as low as possible on Tuesday night. Now is a good time to make our ice cream sandwiches, to make our cakes, our novelties, any extra items that we want to sell. So this way, when we come in the morning, there's less mix in the machine. It's a lot easier to clean. Okay, now if we want to reuse the mix, we're going to dispense what is in the cylinders out into a sanitized container. That's going to get labeled, it's going to get date coded and put into our walk-in. That's now rerun. That's product that's been run through the machine, air's been incorporated into it, it's changed. It's not like pure mix. So we're going to leave that off to the side. When the mix gets low in the machine as we're using it throughout the day, we can introduce that rerun back in, but we want to start the machine with fresh mix. Okay? So when we come in the morning and we're going to clean, the machine will be in night mode, the cabinet will be on. Right now we have it off just for the purpose of the video. And we have our refrigerated cabinet. Our mix containers down below, okay? We're gonna start, we always have a bucket underneath the head. We're gonna start by taking the mix buckets out, and we're gonna get them out of our way so we can clean. So we'll disconnect our mix sensors, okay? And we're going to pull, I'll step over to the side. We're gonna pull our mix out. Okay, give us some room. Off to the side. Okay. We're going to get our bucket of water. Now to do our flushing, we're simply going to use water. And the great thing about our equipment is we have a pump that creates pressure, makes it easier to clean the machine in place. Okay, so we want to take our bucket, put our mix feed tubes into the bucket, put the biggest possible bucket you can down here so we're not running back and forth to the sink to reload that bucket with water, because the pump's going to start sucking this up and getting out the rest of the ice cream up top. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that. I'll step off to the other side. And now we have our controls, okay? So we have our micro rods, our air bleed plugs, and we're gonna do a lot of work both here and here, okay? So first we need to get the ice cream that's out of there, that's in there, out of there, okay? We gotta get all that ice cream out, and then we're gonna start introducing some water. So now how do we do that? We gotta drain these out first, right? So we're going to relieve some pressure, lift up our air bleeds, okay? We're going to go to our controls. Our faucet indicates clean, okay? So we're going to click our faucet. Now we want to use the water to help push out the mix, but we want to try to get out what we can first. So we're going to turn the beaters on. Now, I like to take these out, get them out of our way so that we can open our handles, okay, and let it drain. So now we can see the product's not fully liquefied, right, because it was frozen last night. And if we need to help get that out, we're going to turn our pumps on. Okay? That's going to start sucking up our water, creating pressure, and help push that mix out. Now, of course, if we were saving this mix, we would get all the product out first before introducing some water because we're going to reuse it, but in this case we're pitching it, so I introduced the water a little earlier. It's good practice too to start if it is frozen like that. You can run it on clean for a couple minutes to help soften up the product and make it easier to get out. So I'm going to go ahead and close my handles now. I'm going to leave the air bleeds open until I start to spit out, and then I'm going to close them. So we're going to continue to suck up water and fill the cylinder. Okay? Keep an eye on our bucket. Make sure we have enough water down there. Our pump's shut off, so we know that the cylinder is full. It can't accept any more water. So while we're on clean and we're agitating and we're getting all that dirty mix out, I'm going to go ahead and dump this bucket. Be right back. Okay, our bucket comes back. Now I've used quite a bit of water, so I'm going to step to the side, pull my bucket out, introduce some more. Back in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and shut this off. Now there's two different ways you can shut the beaters off. We can do beater off. It's one way. Okay. We also have these power buttons here on each side. Now this will shut off if the pump was on. This would shut off the pump and the beater shaft, and this one would shut off the left side. So now I want to drain. We'll shut it off for now. I want to drain what's in the cylinders out before I start to introduce more water. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drain these out. I turned the pumps off by using these buttons. You could also turn the pumps off individually. So now when I open up the handles and I open the air bleed plugs, the pump will not come on because I shut it off. Ordinarily, it would come on automatically to replenish. It thinks I'm making an ice cream cone, so it needs to replenish the ice cream that's coming out. So we've built up pressure in here, so I'm going to go ahead and hold the bucket up a little bit. I'm going to pull this, and I'm going to pull this. Okay, you can hear the pressure that was built up. We can go ahead and open our handles. And now this will drain any product that's in the cylinder still. When we see the product start to slow down and we think we got most of it out, now we can start introducing more water. So how do we do that? We got to turn the pumps on. The pumps have to suck up the water and get it up to the cylinder. So we go back to our controls where the faucet is. And we're going to go ahead and turn the pumps on both sides. And we're going to watch for the water here. You can see the vanilla is starting to get a little cloudy. The chocolate is as well. The vanilla side will clean a little quicker. You can see that we got pretty good water here. We got pretty good clean water there. So we're going to do our second rinse. I'm going to go ahead and close the handles. Now again, it's continuing to fill the cylinder with water, basically from the bottom up. When it gets to about here, it's going to leak out. When we see that stream of water coming out the bottom of the head, we're going to close our plugs. Here comes the water on the chocolate side, so we'll go ahead and close those. Keep an eye on our bucket, make sure we have enough water down there. Here comes the vanilla. Now the pump will continue to run until it shuts itself off, as you can see, and as you can hear. Still need to get a little bit more water. We can hear the change, and there goes the pump. So we have a pressurized cylinder on both sides full of water. We can go ahead and turn the beater on. Let it start to throw that water around and start to clean. Very simple. We're going to keep doing the same thing until we see clear water coming out of the head, and then we'll go ahead and take everything apart. Okay, so we've had the water in there for a couple minutes. We're going to go ahead and drain it out. So let's turn the beater off, turn the beater off. So now I'm going to show you what happens if I don't turn it off here. What happens when I drain the product out. Okay, you'll see the pump will come on to replenish what I'm taking out. So again, we hold the bucket up, release the pressure. Okay. Release the pressure. We're going to go ahead and turn that out. Now ordinarily the pump would come back on, would replenish what we took out, but we shut the pump off before. Okay, we want to just empty out what's in the cylinders here. Let's start to bring some more water up. Same thing before. We have our handles open, we have our air bleed plugs open. Much more clear water here. So let's go ahead, close our handles. Again, we're going to wait for water to fill up the cylinder. Take a look, make sure we have enough. Now we want to do this as many times as necessary until we have clear water coming out of the head. Now I like to do a sanitizer rinse before I take the machine apart because I like to do more work at the machine than I like to do at the sink. Okay, it's a pressurized machine. It's going to clean under pressure. It's going to clean a lot easier. We close our air bleeds when the water comes out. We wait for the pumps to shut off, and then we turn the beaters back on. Because we want the beaters to throw around a solid cylinder of water, full cylinder of water. Pump shut off, turn it to clean, turn the beaters on, both sides. We empty our bucket. Okay, so let's drain out this water now. Same procedure. Now we have the beaters on this time instead of turning them off. The pumps are still off. So let's hold this up. Let's relieve our pressure. Now we can see the pump comes on to replenish what I took out. But I'm going to go ahead and shut off the pump and the beater shaft because I just want to drain this out. I don't want to drain it out and have the pump introduce some more water because this is clean water and this is dirty. I want to get the dirty water out, bring some clean water up. Now you can see the difference from when we started. We're much cleaner here. The water in the bucket is still a little cloudy, so we're going to do another freshwater rinse, and then we'll finish with our sanitizer before we take it apart. So we have our handles open, we have our air bleed plugs open all the way up, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the pump on to start bringing up that water. So we got our clear water coming out. We're going to close our side handles. Now you could toggle the center one if you'd like to get some water in there. And we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to wait until it fills up with water and it leaks out of the air bleed holes, and then we close them. We wait for the pumps to shut off, and then we turn the beater on. Okay, repetition, repetition. We're going to do the same thing over and over again, muscle memory, just like we're training for a sport or we're doing any activities. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over and over. It's going to become second nature. Here comes our water. Close the plug. Close the other side. Again, it's going to continue to fill until the pumps shut themselves off. One pump is off. Here goes the other one. And now let's turn the beater on, throw around that water. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this. We'll do our sanitizer for the last one.